Bruchim Abayim, everybody. The 180th yard site Hilula of Mareinu Rab Nosson Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh L'Bracha G'ayni Zeinu. Hard to imagine, 180 years. I don't know where the world would be, where we would be without Rab Nosson. Everything that we know, if you saw the messages going around today, how many dozens and dozens and dozens of major Sudas Hilula around the world for Rab Nosson. Without Rab Nosson, we would know nothing about the Rebbe. The Rebbe said that mein Nosson wollte ich geblieben kein Blättel Shemes. There wouldn't be a page left of my writing. So we owe a major, great debt of gratitude to Rab Nosson for being mevatel himself entirely to the Rebbe and Mamish being his water carrier and bringing us everything, all the good stuff. Hoyskim b'chvoid achsanya, gewaldig akuris hatoiv, for our Machnas Oirech here in the shul. We have a good shuttev. The Eibishter put us up together with our chaver here, Benjamin Phillips, and he couldn't make it here tonight. He's out of town. Baruch Hashem, we was to have a partnership with him here in the Rebbe Zach. And our blessing to Rabbi Benjamin is he should continue having shefa, bracha, atzlacha to do what he does for Yechidim and for the Klal. And he should have simchas and achas in his family, yeshiv adas, and all his gifts, only brachas. Baruch Hashem, for those that don't know, this is a place of Torah and Tefillah throughout the week. Some people came over to me, they weren't aware that we still have our Thursday night programs, Nixon Fanafshi. So I'm just going to plug our evening kollel. The Olim should know we have a kollel here every night. We learn the Rebbe's Svarim together with our Kashava. There's a kollel here at Hershel Koenig. The Olim has been plugging away in Torah and Chanukah the last few months under the leadership of Nachman. Where is Nachman? Nachman?
Because he knew you were going to.
We'll come back. So everyone's invited to join every night. Thursday night we have more of a shtickl chabura, but every night the kollel is open and it's welcome to all. Yiddish, English, Hebrew, whatever it is, we try to accommodate. With no further ado, we'd like to call upon our first speaker. Rabbi Jonathan Rietti is eingesund. Baruch Hashem, he came back. We had a gewaldige shir with you here at Chanukah, and the Olim wanted some more. So, no further ado, we have a true Breslov Apostle, Rabbi Nosson. Please share with us some words that cover the Hilula.
I daven that when I get to Shemaim, I'll be considered a Breslov Chassid, but no one ever said I'm a true Breslov Chassid, but I am a very good actor. So, Shkoyach Zeitlin, and a special thank you to all the Misadrim. If I could be Mazaka, my part of this evening for Refuah Shlema to my Rebbe, Chaim Kramer, Chaim Menachem and Leah, Mizrach to Refuah Shlema. Amen. 180 years ago, wow, nobody in this room, nobody ever met Reb Nosson. Nobody ever met Rabbeinu Zal. And yet we're here celebrating the York site, which is really the life that continues from the ripple effect of a towering tzaddik. We're celebrating the Yerusha that Reb Nosson left us. Besides writing Likutei Moharan at the word for word, and when it's on Shabbos from memory, and then checking with Rabbeinu Zal. And as you know, Rabbeinu Zal said a few times, Shin Mem Ches has the same oasis as Sameach. In Chaim Moharan, you can be medayek, you can explore, you can dig into every word that I wrote in the Likutei Moharan exactly like you do with a pasuk in Chumash. I'm not going to go into what's over there because it's huge. That is huge. It's one of his many extraordinary claims. And Rav Nosson showed him his notes after Shabbos, and with a few edits here and there, Rabbeinu Zal approved of them. but Rav Nosson himself was a prolific writer. You've got Likutei Halakas, an encyclopedia, virtually. You have Likutei Tfilas. The whole world is opened up. Rabbeinu Zal claimed that there are no shashurim, which really means the extreme focus that a person has in their dvekus to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is really reserved for Olam Haba. You will not find anything close to that in Olam Haba than the tefillahs that a person makes of himself, that he wrote of himself. And Rav Nachman was very encouraging that when one learns a Torah from a tzaddik emes, it can be a chazal and all tzaddikim amitim, and it can be from Rabbeinu Zal Svarim. When you write your own words, please, Rabbeinu Shalom, help me be Mekayim everything that's written here. And then get into Pratius, the details of what you know to be the obstacles and what's needed for you to be Mekayim this. These words have never been said or written before, and therefore they have a special way to get to Shemayim, and the Kitrugim are not able to stop them. That's a Torah in Tinyana, I think it's in Sadik Zayin. Rabbeinu Zal hinted about the power of writing your own tefillahs to Rav Nosson, and Rav Nosson took it all the way. So Likutei Tefillahs is something that is a huge chiddush. You got the Rashash wrote tefillahs, the Ben Ish Chai has a whole sefer called Lashon Hachamim. So it's not a chiddush in that sense, but there's a very powerful message that when a person turns a Torah into tefillah, it's higher than Torah. And the reason why is a very simple logic. If I learn something and I want to be Mekayim it, I look up Shulchan Aruch to try and Mekayim it, that is beautiful. Not to take anything away from it. When a person turns something he learns into a tefillah, asking Hashem to help me, it's a huge demonstration that it's not enough that I intellectually understand what I just learned, and the Totzah, the way to implement this in Shulchan Aruch, I am admitting that I can't be successful in being Mekayim what this tzaddik has suggested, B'derech Tapula, a strategy against the Yetzer Hara, whatever it is. I can't succeed without you. And so in that sense, if you want to say the greatest lishma would be that a person turns Torah into tefillah because it shows where they want to go with this learning. It's not about showing off what a person knows or how deeply they know. They want to be Mekayim Hashem Ratzon. And so by asking, help me, that is a bittul on the one hand to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but it's also an admission. I will not succeed. So when Rabbeinu Zal tells us to be mechabed our wives, Reish Samach Gimel and Sichas Aran, turn it into a tefillah, Rebbeinu Shalom. Help. This one is big for me. I really need help. As they say, there's only 2 times a person doesn't understand his wife. It's before he's married and after he's married. You know, in the world of mathematics, they say there's only 3 types of people. There's those who can count and those who don't know how to count. Okay. So, Likutei Tefillahs is huge. It happens to be almost the size of an encyclopedia, and it takes a long time to get through. But the concept is, even if you don't write it down, stop where you're learning, whether it's Likutei Ran, or whether it's even a Mishnah or a Gemara, or a Maimar Chazal, or a Sefer Musa, Sefer Chassid, whatever it is you're learning, a short filler, please Rachel, help me to be kindness. You got Likutei Eitzos, the practical conclusions of all Likutei Maharan, all from Rav Nosson Zal. And you've got, of course, Yimei Maharanat, his autobiography, and Likutei Sichas Aran and Chaim Ran, and Alim L'Trupa. All this comes from Rav Nosson. So we're not just grateful for the Yerusha, the inheritance he's given us, but we are able to take what Rabbeinu Zal gave us and live it, and it's only because of this one man. any of you, probably all of you, have read Through Fire and Water, you get a glimpse of the difficulties that Rav Nosson went through. I spoke earlier this evening with Reb Chaim Kramer, my Rebbe. He doesn't like me calling him Rabbi, so I'm stuck calling him Chaim. Since I'm 17 years old, he wouldn't let me. So I asked him, what would you say is the one item that one should say is the main dagish, the main emphasis about this towering personality, Rav Nosson? And he said, he spoke tonight in Yerushalayim on the Inyan of iron will. A will that's made of iron, nothing will break it. Rav Nosson had an iron will, Rotzen. And so I thought I will do my best to talk about that. We're familiar with Azamra. Azamra is finding the good, but the wording is very important. Every word that Rabbeinu Zal wrote is very important, especially when he quotes a pasuk. Azamra lelokai be'oidi. Azamra, I will. Aleph in front of a word, in front of a verb, means I will. And that's a very dangerous thing to say. You and I, when we say I will, and I will come on time, we usually add either before or after two words, bli neder, because I don't control the weather and the traffic. So I expect to be on time. But in Hebrew, there's no bli neder. It just says azamra, I will sing. And that's what Rav Nachman was taking out of the pasuk. I think all three words count a long way. Azamra, I will sing. Leloikai, to my power of all powers. That's what El means. El means power. Eloikai means my powers. And it refers to the name Elokim, as conjugated as Elokai, my power of all powers. You are the power of all powers, so there's nothing you cannot do. So when I sing to you either praises or percussions, there's nothing that you can't answer, there's nothing you can't do. Like Rabbeinu Zal brings in Mem Vav, I think in Tinyana, never, or maybe it's Mem Ches, Nosson can help me on this one, never give up on any effort you make, because even if you don't see the product, the results of what you're trying so hard to accomplish, it may not be now, but it may be much later on, that all your efforts are being reserved, and it might come out for your children or grandchildren. And your neshama, this is my add-on, your neshama, which goes up every night to Shemayim, might actually be consulted. Who do you want the benefits and the results of your davening and your efforts and your tzedakah to go to? I know you designated it for this person or for this particular cause, but let me show you another cause you can allocate it to. And so sometimes the neshama will actually agree not to answer my tefillah with my tefillah, but actually attribute it to a child or a grandchild, or a daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or to Klal Yisrael. But the bottom line is lelokai. I will sing to Hashem, who is my power of all powers, b'oidi, which Rabbeinu Zal tells us not only means whoever I am right now, however low or how many mistakes I've ever made, it makes no difference. Who I am right now, David HaMelech is telling us, I will sing. I will is a very dangerous statement. It almost sounds like arrogance in English. I will. How can you do that? I can't say I will. But in Lashon HaKodesh, it has a very special power. It's the highest level of commitment. The lowest level of commitment is Bechira, which translates as want. It's a very low level. Bakasha is a much higher level, which translates more as need. But Ratzon is the highest of all. Nothing can stand in front of Ratzon. Ratzon's from the two-letter root. Can anyone help me? Those still awake? Rutz. What does Rutz mean? Run. So when you're walking somewhere, everyone knows, oh, you want to go from this place there. Why are you walking? Oh, so you have a destination you want to get to. But if you're walking very deliberately and you're passing by and you can see, oh, this person really needs to get somewhere. But if you're running, I'm pretending to run, I think it has a din of Besek Knesset. You have and it's a permanent tent, but you've got the Sefer Torah here, so I can't run in here, but imagine someone running and there's an obstacle, he runs around it. Another obstacle, runs over it. Another one, underneath it. Oh, Rutz means must have. It's a totally different level I want to lose weight. Well, okay, that's if the chocolate doesn't speak too loud. I want to be a better husband if she doesn't keep provoking me. I want to have patience with this kid. Now you know why I'm bored. So, I want is a very low level of bechira. I need to lose weight. Oh, you can hear there's something much more of a commitment here. I need to be a better husband. I need to be more patient with this kid. It's going too far. I need to be more responsible with finances. I need to spend less than I earn. I'll repeat myself. I need to spend less than I earn so that I can actually afford the lifestyle that I'm presently living. Oh, so need is higher than want. But the highest of all is rotzen. That means I have to have it. Iron will is what was injected from Rabbeinu Zal into Rav Nosson. And Rav Nosson had a sense in the last days that Rabbeinu Zal was on his deathbed. He had a sense from the glances and things that were said previously that he's going to have to endure a tremendous amount of adversity in order to be mamshich, to continue the Yerusha that Rabbeinu Zal has given us. I use the word Yerusha because Melech Zuberger told me once in Manchester about nearly 40 years ago that Breslov Chassidus is not a Chassidus. We call every Chassidus a Chassidus. He said Breslov is not a regular Chassidus. It's a Yerusha to Klal Yisrael. It's a totally different way of looking at it. So it's not another or different Chassidus than any other. This is for everybody. As Rabbeinu Zal is quoted in Shin Lamates in Chaim Ran, that the whole world will be Breslov Hasidim. I actually thought that meant the whole Jewish world until recently my eldest son came back from Uman, taking his son who's nearly turning 7 to say Tikkun Klali. So he told me there was a group there of Nashim, about 30 Nashim. They had their head covered, they looked like Goyim, and sure enough they actually were Ukrainians, and they were saying Tikkun Klali. So it would appear that Rabbeinu Zal's teachings are generic because it's all about a connection to Hashem. It's all about Nekudas Teves. It's all about His Chaskus, starting again, no matter how many times I fall. So comes along Rabbeinu Zal and tells us, Azamira means, no matter how many times I fall, I will get up and I will continue singing to you. No matter how many times I fall, Azamra comes from Lashon Zemer. Zemer, actually, correctly speaking, means to prune. Mizmor means to prune. A mizmor, a song, are the notes are pruned away from the wrong notes. You've heard someone play the wrong notes in an orchestra, and it berates your ears. So actually, the correct notes are a pruning type of a process. And the Zamra really means that no matter how many Averas or Pshayim, which means lahachis against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that a person might hasv'shalom fall into, or ruach shtus, just a stam Avera, start again. In the Lashon of Rav Nosson, in Hilchas Netilat Yadayim, I think it's in Halacha Yudalet, Eis Yud Aleph, he says something that blew my mind. An Avera contains in it how to recover from the Avera. He says, Avera is Lashon. What's the shorish of Avera? Ava. What does Ava mean? Past. Okay, past. It passed. It happened. It's history. It's gone. Move on. Rav Nosson is helping us understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us so much that even in the word Avera, He gave us the spelling, spelled out right there, how to deal with it. Rav Nachman himself said that if he did the worst Avera imaginable, 1 second later he would be the same tzaddik as before. And for most of us, I don't think so. What's the Yetzer Hara more interested in? The Avera itself, the frequency of the Avera, the severity of the Avera, or how bad I feel about myself after the Avera. How I beat myself up after the Avera. How I say, no, I can't believe I've done this again. there's just no chance. I'll never get out of this. Which is the Yetzer Hara more interested in? The Etzem of Eir itself, its frequency and its severity, or how I beat myself and I said, I'm disconnected. There's no way Hashem will ever take me back. The Yetzer Hara is much more interested in the latter. Excellent. So comes along Rav Nosson. So Rabbeinu Zal says he would be the same tzaddik a second later. How long is that? One thought away. I'm not talking about time, I'm talking about thought. One thought later, one split second later. Because that is the mindset of a tzaddik emes. One of the things I love, can't say the most, one of the things that I find extremely endearing in Breslov Chassidus is the honesty of Rabbeinu Zal and Rav Nosson. Rav Nosson was very honest about himself. He even writes it in Tafkuf Vav Teku. I just got simonim, so don't be impressed if I remember anything. They're all simonim. In Tafkuf Vav, in Chaimran, Rav Nosson writes, I actually brought it here for you. He talks about his anxiety. By nature, he was an anxious person. And the anxiety, he often would focus on, did I do the mitzvah correctly? I'm not sure if I did it behit or with kavanah, the right kavanah. It would drive him crazy. And on one occasion, Pamachas dibarti imay. I spoke with him, with Rabbeinu Zal, mi'inyan machshavas rabbis, the many thoughts, that confuse me, mi'inyan mara shechayros, with regard to bitter, black. Mara means bitter, taste, and shachar is black, so you've got the experience of blackout, black, no color, no bright, no clarity, and mara, the taste of it being bitter. It's a very powerful way to describe when a person's thoughts are really so negative, pulling me down, that I just can't get out of it, and it's so dark, I don't see any way out. Rabbi Arush Shlita says, when we daven every morning, to save me from the Yetzer Ra, Reish Ayin, are the Rosh Teves, Roidef Atzmai. I'm my biggest enemy. I'm my worst enemy. It's my thinking about me that pulls me down. And Rabbeinu Zal, amongst many other things, came to liberate us from the worst enemy of all. The para inside me, the para inside me. So comes one with Nosson, and he was honest about the Marash Chayros Ba'asiyas mitzvahs that he had in relation to doing mitzvahs. The example he gives is when he would wash his hands, he wasn't sure, did I cover my whole hand with water fully? He was extremely confused by all these thoughts that would go through his mind. Beheshivli, and Rabbeinu Zal answered me. I would have a hard time putting this in a sefer, being honest about my own weaknesses. I've already spoken to you about this. Don't look at this. If you notice the thought, what should you do? Ignore it. Don't fight the thought, ignore it. In Torah Ayin Beis, in Zintinyana, where he talks about thoughts, I mix it up, is it Tinyana or first Chilip? Tinyana. Rabbeinu Zal talks about ignoring the Yetzer Hara, not fighting it. Because when I fight the Yetzer Hara, I am engaging. I'm in the ring. Get out the ring and ignore it. Win by ignoring. Don't battle. That's what actually makes me not let go, because I'm stuck thinking about the thing that I want to actually ignore. But by not ignoring it, I'm thinking about it and talking about it and talking about it. My Rebbe Chaim Kramer calls it watering the weeds. And I talk about it and talk about it. Guess what happens? If the it is negative, it just grows and grows and grows. Then Rav Nosson, he didn't accept this answer. He then said to Rabbeinu Zal, this answer you just gave me is actually what's going to make me more confused. Meaning, He's going to walk away trying to think, I got to stop thinking about this. I've got to stop thinking about this. I said, I've got to stop thinking about it. So Rabbeinu Zal spoke a little bit stronger, and he responded to me, Al taschil lachshoif klal. Don't begin thinking at all. Now you can't always stop the pop-ups. You can't always stop the pop-ups in your mind. Some of you know what a pop-up is on an iPhone. If you don't know, just ask your non-Jewish neighbor, they'll explain it to you. So you see on the screen, you get a pop-up. And in the top right-hand corner, there's an X which you can press delete, and goodbye pop-up. So you've got two options: explore, press the pop-up, or ignore, press the delete button. But where's the delete button in your brain? And this is what Rav Nosson is helping us understand. The delete button in my brain is the next thought. The moment I realized, oh, I'm going to Marosh Kara, let go, don't go there. This is an amazing strategy for everything. There are many times that thoughts really confuse us. And the more we try to push them away, I just get more and more into it. The main advice, stop thinking about the losing weight. Stop thinking about financial irresponsibility that's pulling me down. Because my pulling myself down is the best place for me to have clarity, or that's the worst place for me to make the next decision. First, let go. Just get busy with whatever you're doing. The next appointment, open up a sefer, say a capital of Tehillim, make a phone call, get distracted. Rav Nosson was huge on this. Thanks to Rav Nosson, so the Azamra, let's get back to Azamra for a second. The Aleph in front of Zamra means I will. And Aleph really is the name of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Elokim. That's the first time it appears in the Torah at the beginning of a word. That's a klal, the Vilna Gaon actually brings it. We spoke about it in our shir, in Gmar Bava Kama Nun Hey, where it talks about the first time the letter Tes is found in the Torah is in the word Toiv. So the Vilna Gaon explains the reason why the Gemara is revealing that is in order for you to know there's a principle here. If you want to know the meaning of an ois, see where it first appears in the Torah at the beginning of a word. That word defines that letter. Elokim, Bereshis bara Elokim, Aleph at the beginning of a word is found first ever in the Torah in the word Elokim. Elokim means Baal HaKoyach Kulam. He's the one power of all powers. So actually, when you're saying Azamira, I will sing no matter what. No matter how many times I fail, I'll get up and sing to Hashem, which is what David HaMelech's mantra was. That was his slogan. I don't care how many times I get defeated, I'm never out of the ring. I'm going back in and I'm going to sing to you. I will, no matter how many times I fall, start again. Start again. How can you do that? Because Elokim, I'm not putting me, it's not me who I'm putting in front of the I will. I'm saying I with Hashem, there's nothing I can't do. Oh, that is the power of Elokim. That's the power of putting Aleph in front. Rus, when she was pushed away by Naomi, she said, wherever you go, Eilech, I will go. It's not I want to, it's not I need to, I will no matter what. I don't care how many obstacles. Wherever you die, Emois, that's where I'm going to die. I will not stop until I succeed. And if I don't succeed in my lifetime, every effort's going to get counted. It'll go towards spouse, children, grandchildren, children-in-law, Klal Yisrael. So how do we keep moving forward with an iron will like Rav Nosson did? Assassination attempts, murder attempts. He was thrown into prison on false accusations. It just went on and on and on, and it didn't go on for a few weeks or months. It just went on for years. And some of you are from a generation when Breslov Chassidus was not popular. It was really difficult to say you had an affiliation to Breslov Chassidus. So how do you put Elokim in front of everything? And there's only really one answer. It's this. Eventually, I can't do anything without you. I can't even go to the bathroom without you. Each one of us, I assume, had surgery today. You came out of the bathroom, and it was a very successful surgery. The body expelled any toxicity in the goof. That's an astonishing surgery, and your body is self-healing. It does it by itself. I can't. There's nothing I can't do without you. So what we're really saying is the little bit of his status when we're going in the car, get me there safely and back. The little status. I'm going to the front door. I'm going to Lions Den. I'm going home to meet my wife. Give me clarity to shut up. Suma Mikulash Mishtuka. Megillah, I think, run about Yud Ches, that the greatest medicine of all is don't open your mouth and wag that tongue. Rav Nosson brings Ashrei Ish Shelo Yishkachecha. I'm trying to be medayik, so this is my own add-on. The rest is all from Rav Nosson and Rav Nachman. Happy is the person that does not forget you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what does he forget? His aveiros. Put them behind. History. Gone. Start again. That is the way to move forward. Put Elokim. I'm going to start again. I'm going to try my best to get up for Chatzos. If it's not Chatzos, it'll be before Avodah Shachar, or as is being popularly spread throughout Eretz Yisrael. Reb Lezer Sternhal was a big Breslover, big supporter of Breslov as well. Rabbi Gamliel Rabinovitz was very encouraging that he should spread the das of the Balatanya, who in Shulchan Aruch actually paskins that it's better to say Chatzos 2 hours before, within 2 hours before the real Chatzos, than not say Chatzos at all. And especially for this generation, where the yearning for Mashiach and the building of the Beis Hamikdash is so important. And outside of the world of Sephardim, who are huge on Chatzos, basically it was only the Breslovers who've been saying Chatzos for the last decades, and it's starting to come back again in Eretz Yisrael the last 30 or so years. But if I'm not mistaken, it's really Breslov to put it back on the map. Ashrei ish shelo yishkachecha. You, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't want ever to forget, but please help me forget my aveiros. Oh, Yom Kippur? Okay, if you want to remember a little bit in the Hispanis time, we want to, but the rest of the 23 hours of the day, Simcha. That is our mandate. So I'm going to close with Reish Nun Hey. It's Oisius Rina, I think of a song. It's only 3 lines in Likutei Moran. Reish Nun Hey, it talks about when a person has emunah in the tzaddik, he can fall. Emunah in the tzaddik is not enough not to fall. The actual lashon is a very short Torah. K'sha'ha'adam hu ma'amin b'ha'tzadik bli shum das. If a person has emunah in the tzaddik, but he hasn't got das in that emunah, married to that emunah, ef shalai lipol me'emunah, he can fall away from that emunah in that tzaddik. Ki me'emunah levad ef shalipol. Aval im yesh legam das shemevin gam b'hadas. In his mind, he also knows why he's got emunah. I was like, Efshar loy lipol. That's very strong language. Efshar, it's impossible to fall. How do we bridge this? You go on a plane. Do you know the pilot has shalom bias and is fully calculated? You don't know that. Do you know that he's going to land the plane safely? You don't know that. You go in with emunah. He's a pilot that's got X number of hours of training and experience, and there's laws, federal laws, about how much sleep he has to have in between flights. So you're going on that trust, but you don't know. You don't have das. That's a simple emunah. You don't even get in a car without emunah pshuta. The emunah pshuta I'm talking about is you cannot get inside a car without the almost blind emunah that every car in the opposite direction is not texting like you and is paying attention to the road, and they're fully sober. You don't know that. You believe it, you hope it to be true, but you don't know it. You go to the doctor, well maybe not you, but no Breslovers go to doctors, and they'll get a prescription. They have a munah that this doctor with his number of plaques, there's an expression, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But you have to really aim well. My friend went to his doctor, doctor, what's the matter? I think I'm a dog. How long have you had this? Ever since I was a puppy. Anyway, if a person does go to a doctor, where was I? Oh yeah, he goes with a munah, but it's not das. You don't know he's going to cure you. You don't know for sure that the diagnosis is correct. You don't know that this is the correct antibiotic. So how do you bridge emunah and das? So comes from Rabbeinu Zal, really through Rav Nosson in Reish Samach. I'm just telling you, like I use the word rose, R-S, as Reish Samach or race, and I make an association between that and the Torah there. So in Reish Samach in Chaim Ran, there's the story, famous story you're all familiar with, of a carriage driver and the assistant who are pulling the wagon with the owner, and the wagon contains Hungarian wine. And the assistant says, you know what, boss, can we have a taste of your wine? He resists a little bit, but eventually he said, okay, you can take a few sips. And they were, this is awesome Hungarian wine. This is the real thing. A few days later, this assistant finds himself in a tavern. There's a huge wine party, and they're boasting that this is Hungarian wine. So he says to them, you know what? I know what Hungarian wine tastes like. Can I have just a small sip? And they say, okay. I said, this is not the real Hungarian wine. And they are so insulted by him, they throw him out of the tavern. And he insists, I know because my boss who deals in Hungarian wine, I've tasted it, so I know. And they threw him out because he would not be convinced by them saying this is the real thing. So comes on Rabbeinu Zal at the end of that short story, my Talmidim will not be fooled when Mashiach comes. You will know what the real thing is because you've already tasted his spathus and seen the results. You've already seen a change when we look for the Nekudas Teves, the good in others. Like the Satan, his name, Samach, Sin, Tes, Nun, are the exact letters, Soine Nekudas Teves. He hates when we start adding another good point about ourselves, or our spouse, or our children, or our mother-in-law, always swallowing, or my father-in-law, whoever it is. That is what the Satan hates the most. Because if we get into the Nekudas Teves, your life is saved. You can get out of anything. Whether it's an illness, chas v'shalom, or a financial setback, it makes no difference what it is. Nekudas Teves is the silver lining. The sun is always shining. Hashem's everywhere all the time. There's nothing left for the Satan to do. So it comes along in Reish Nun Hey. How do you bridge the emunah to the das? It's very simple. Taste the wine. No one can fool you. Then you know. Oh, so says Levi Yitzchak Bender of blessed memory, learn the Svarim. Learning the Svarim and tasting. Ta'amu ur'u. See for yourself. You'll see it. You taste it and see. These are chushim. You can't unexperience what you experienced. You can't unlearn what you experienced. So the closing of the gap between having a munah in the tzaddik and das in that emunah that guarantees you cannot iyafshar. It's impossible, lipo to fall. That gap is closed by learning the Sfarim and living the eitzes. It's not more complicated than that. And this is the Yerusha that Rabbeinu Zal gave to us through Rav Nosson. And he told us many times, what have you to worry about? I'm going before you. The people who died before I died, said Rabbeinu Zal, I have to be mitaken them now down here. But you, I'm going ahead of you. What have you got to worry for? This is a huge Rosh Hashanah, Nekudas Teves, his spazdus, mikveh, the sikin, chatzais. There's so many Nekudas Teves that a person can pick himself up for. Put on tefillin this morning, put on talis, daven shachris this month. There's so much to be grateful for. It's really the Nekudas Teves that builds us inside out. In the schus of knowing that Rabbeinu Zal gave us, Rav Nosson Zal, to make sure that the Yerusha would never, literally, the fire of that Yerusha will never go out. And that's a promise. And every single year you go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah, you see it again and again and again. Tens of thousands of Jews from all walks of life are touched by Rabbeinu Zal, through Rav Nosson Zal. And because of that, we should all be zocher to see the coming of Mashiach from here on Amen. Amen.
Yonason, thank you. We're going to serve some hot soup, and then we're going to get to hear from our Erech HaChoshev from Yerushalayim, our Kodesh, Nosson, Maimon, who came to join us for the Hilula. He will speak as soon as they serve the soup. It's a shame. David, I need you, no?
Schreien, wat